Dear Libra, radiant soul of balance and light, what if I told you that the next 24 hours might be the most prophetic of your life? You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You were pulled here gently, precisely, and divinely because today is your jackpot day, and the universe has something to say. Right now, we are standing inside a cosmic moment unlike any other. September 9th brings a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of energies. The new moon in Virgo offers sacred space to reset your health, values, and spiritual alignment. Venus returns home to Libra, amplifying your magnetism, your self-worth, and your calling in love, beauty, and abundance. And finally, the numerological code 999, the seal of divine completion, opens an energetic portal for rebirth, breakthrough, and radical alignment. This is not a prediction. This is an invitation. An invitation to remember who you are. An invitation to rise into everything you've been secretly praying for. An invitation to walk through the spiritual door that is swinging wide open right now just for you. And Libra, I'm here not to forecast something for you. I'm here to help you receive it. You see, you've been patient. You've been consistent, even in private silence. You've carried grace in the midst of contradiction. You've kept showing up with love and faith when no one was watching. And now, the heavens are watching back. This moment, this jackpot day, is not just about material gain. It's about divine justice. It's about the spiritual compensation that comes from enduring with dignity. It's about finally feeling seen not just by others, but by the universe itself. So before we go any further, pause and feel into this. Has something been tugging at your spirit lately? A dream that won't go away? A sign that keeps repeating? A name, a number, a whisper in your intuition? That's not your imagination. That's a divine confirmation. Now take a breath. And let your soul say yes. If you're feeling something awaken inside you right now, I encourage you comment below with the number that's calling to you most strongly today. Is it 999? 777? 1111? That's your soul code. Leave it below to anchor your intention and confirm your alignment. And while you're here, let me take a moment to say something that's rarely said enough. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to press play. Thank you for allowing me in this channel, Zodiac Whisper Tarot, walk beside you for a few minutes in your sacred journey. Every like, every comment, every subscription is not just support, it's a declaration to the universe that you're ready for more. And believe me, Libra, what the universe is preparing to reveal to you today is nothing short of breathtaking. So stay with me until the very end. Because before this video closes, you'll understand exactly why today chose you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll understand the version of yourself you're about to become. Now, let's begin. There's something sacred about this moment you're in, not loud, not showy, but quietly undeniable. It's as though the air has shifted around you, not just metaphorically, but energetically. You may not have been able to name it, but deep within, something has been preparing. The decisions you've made, the ways you've kept going even when the outcome wasn't clear, that wasn't wasted. That was alignment in motion. For Libra, whose soul is ruled by balance, fairness, and beauty, this kind of moment isn't about chaos or luck. It's not about spinning a wheel and hoping it lands in your favor. Neuer Jackpot Day is different. It is earned through an inner kind of harmony, one that most people never bother to cultivate. It's the reward for showing up when it was hard. For holding on to your values when no one was watching. For keeping your spirit clean while the world around you was messy. You see, the idea of a jackpot often brings to mind material wealth, and yes, for many of you, financial breakthroughs are a real and coming possibility. But the deeper treasure is energetic. It's the space that opens when you finally stop doubting your worth, when you stop making yourself small to fit into the wrong room, and when you realize that the doors closing behind you were never punishment, they were redirection. The jackpot is the clarity that comes when the noise fades and you realize your intuition had been whispering the truth all along. This day, this timing, isn't random. Astrologically, you're moving through a threshold. The new moon in Virgo gives you the structure to realign your habits, your rituals, and your self-care. And Venus, your ruling planet, returning home to Libra. That's no small event. It's as if the energy that created you is now standing beside you, gently reminding you, you were never meant to beg for the things that belong to you. In spiritual language, we might call this divine timing. But you don't need to label it to feel it. You just need to pause long enough to recognize that you've arrived. This is the moment when you stop striving and start receiving, not because you've given up effort, but because you've earned rest. You've earned the unfolding. You've earned the right to stop proving yourself and simply become. If you've felt unseen or unheard recently, this is the shift. When you're in energetic alignment, you don't have to chase visibility. Your light naturally draws what's meant for you. Whether it's a job opportunity that feels out of reach, a relationship that mirrors your soul, or a message that confirms your deepest knowing, what's coming next has your name on it. Not because you forced it, but because you're finally vibrating at the frequency of what you desire. And if you're still holding a tiny thread of doubt, let this be the reminder: faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet choice to keep believing in something you can't yet see. Sometimes it's deciding not to speak fear into your future. Sometimes it's trusting that a seed you planted months or even years ago is finally about to bloom. So what now? Stay open. Stay grounded. And above all, stay expectant. The moment is now. The message is clear. You're not just walking through a new chapter, you're the one writing it. The page is blank. The pen is in your hand. And this jackpot day? It's just the beginning. There's a quiet kind of transformation unfolding under this new moon, one that doesn't come with fireworks or dramatic announcements, but with gentle, almost imperceptible shifts that begin from within. This new moon in Virgo is more than a cosmic event, it is a divine invitation to re-establish your inner order, to return to yourself with grace, precision, and care. Virgo, ruled by Mercury, is a sign that honors the details, the routines, the habits that shape our lives in invisible yet powerful ways. It reminds us that the small things we do each day are not minor, they are sacred. And under this lunation, you're being offered the rare opportunity to press the reset button on how you care for your body, mind, and emotional environment. As Libra, your sign seeks balance not just aesthetically or relationally, but energetically. The return of Venus, your ruling planet, into your own sign right at this moment? That's not just poetic, it's purposeful. Venus in Libra enhances your natural gifts, beauty, harmony, diplomacy, and activates your ability to attract rather than chase. What you magnetize now is a reflection of your internal state. If your internal world is scattered, you'll call in confusion. But if you take this window to realign your habits, your focus, your energy, what comes to you will be cleaner, truer, and far more aligned with the life you're actually meant to live. This isn't the time for extreme overhauls or grand declarations. Instead, it's the time to ask, what isn't working anymore? What have I been tolerating out of habit, rather than alignment? Which routines support my clarity, and which ones quietly drain my light? These aren't always easy questions. But the beauty of Virgo's new moon is that it doesn't demand perfection, it asks for intention. One small shift done with purpose can change everything. That might mean drinking warm water in the morning, replacing harsh inner dialogue with gentler self-talk, or finally putting boundaries where chaos has been ruling. Venus returning to Libra is also a signal that your ability to both give and receive love is being refined. Relationships that were once heavy may feel lighter or may fall away. And if they do, let them. This transit has a way of clearing the path for soul-aligned connections, ones that reflect the version of you that is emerging, not the version of you had to be in survival mode. This is the time to honor the kind of relationships that feel effortless because they're based in truth. If you're meant to reconnect with someone, you'll both be showing up differently, not just out of desire, but from a deeper knowing that you're ready to meet again as your whole selves. In the rhythm of life, we often forget that faith isn't just spiritual, it's practical. Sometimes, faith looks like setting your alarm 15 minutes earlier so you can sit in silence. Sometimes, it's choosing to say no when your nervous system is already full. Sometimes, faith is letting go of the plan you made for yourself because life is handing you something better. In busy modern life, we underestimate the power of returning to simple acts of care, of organizing our space, of writing down what we're ready to release and what we're prepared to call in. That's not just journaling. That's energetic commitment. So take this day as a checkpoint. Not to judge yourself, but to gently recenter. The new moon doesn't ask you to become someone else, it asks you to come back home to who you truly are, under the noise, beneath the roles. You are not starting over, you're starting clearer. And what you welcome into your life from this point on will match the clarity you choose now. That is your power. And that is your quiet revolution. It often begins with a quiet moment, barely noticeable to the outside world but unmistakably powerful to the soul. You feel something shift. Maybe you've seen repeated numbers that make your heart pause. Maybe you've heard a whisper inside, urging you to let go of something that no longer fits. Or perhaps you've simply grown tired of waiting and now sense that this very window in time is different. That intuitive nudge isn't just a passing thought. It's a signature of alignment, a signal that you're entering a sacred 24-hour space where change is not only possible, but divinely supported. During this window, the universe offers you an opportunity not to hustle, but to harmonize. Think of this moment as an energetic checkpoint where your past is gently released and your future is being sketched with new colors. This is what I often call the energetic contract renewal. Every thought, every belief, every old attachment that you choose to release now makes space for something more aligned to enter. You're not just hoping anymore. You're choosing. You're saying, I'm ready to live in agreement with my higher path. As someone who studies cosmic rhythms and human healing deeply, I've come to see how profound it is when someone consciously declares a new season. The most powerful shifts don't always happen at the top of mountains or in ceremonial circles. Sometimes they happen in your kitchen, while you're washing a dish and whispering, "I'm ready." Sometimes they happen in a parked car, when you take a breath and say to yourself, "I no longer carry this." Your declaration doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to be true. This is what spiritual alignment looks like in real time, clarity meeting commitment. Astrologically, this moment is packed with activation. The 999 frequency signals completion and transition. It is the full stop before the next paragraph begins. The 777 sequence often shows up as divine encouragement, saying, "Yes, you're finally listening." And 1111? That's the signal flare, the portal code for new timelines, new soul assignments, and a deeper expression of purpose. Seeing these sequences isn't coincidence. It's like hearing the soft chime of a bell in a cathedral just before prayer begins. It's an opening, a sacred whisper from your higher self to pay attention. Now is the time to consciously respond. This might be the moment to write something down you haven't dared to admit, the dream, the fear, the desire you've been holding back. Or maybe it's time to walk into a quiet space, even just for 3 minutes, and say out loud, "I'm done living small. I'm ready for the version of me that's been waiting to emerge." Words have power. Not just metaphorically, but energetically. They carry vibration. When spoken from the heart, they imprint reality. What's essential is that you move with intention. If you feel called, light a candle. Drink warm tea. Place your hand on your heart. These aren't rituals for the sake of performance. They're small, physical actions that tell your nervous system, something sacred is happening here. And that sacredness doesn't need to look perfect. In fact, the most profound spiritual agreements are made in the midst of ordinary life. That's how divine timing often works. It doesn't interrupt your schedule. It enters softly, waiting for you to notice. This moment isn't about proving your worth. It's about recognizing that you were always worthy, and now, you're ready to receive accordingly. So speak it. Own it. Let the words come from a place of knowing, not striving. Say something that only you can say, and mean it. The universe is listening, not because it doubts you, but because it's ready to respond. Sometimes, clarity arrives not as a loud awakening, but as a quiet certainty that something has shifted. You begin to feel differently about the things you used to chase. You start to lose interest in proving your worth, and instead, you move toward honoring it. That, Libra, is what your jackpot truly is today. It's not just about receiving something unexpected from the outside world, it's about recognizing that something powerful has changed inside of you, and that change is already attracting a new reality. The truth is, you've outgrown what used to fit. And the discomfort you felt lately? That wasn't failure, it was the friction of evolution. It was the universe gently showing you that what once aligned is no longer a match. Stepping away from what's no longer right doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're finally ready for something more true. This kind of clarity is priceless. It's the turning point between living by default and living by design. When I speak of the jackpot, in the context of your astrological moment, I'm referring to alignment, that exquisite experience of being in sync with what your soul has been calling for. The way opportunities seem to appear at just the right time. The way someone reaches out after months of silence, and you feel a pause in your heart, wondering if this is a new beginning or a final release. The way a message, a sign, or even a memory surfaces and lands so deeply that you know it carries meaning far beyond coincidence. This is what happens when you stop striving to be seen and start choosing to see yourself. Venus in Libra makes you more magnetic not because you've changed something on the outside, but because your energy now resonates with wholeness. That kind of presence cannot be manufactured. It arises naturally when you stop abandoning yourself in small ways. You begin to speak more kindly to your own reflection. You walk a little slower, but with more certainty. You make decisions that feel nourishing rather than performative. And suddenly, things start to shift. Your financial flow may begin to mirror your self-worth. You'll find opportunities that actually align with your values, not just your survival instincts. And if you've been waiting for a call, a green light, a door to open, it may come now. Not because of effort alone, but because your energy is finally matching the level of the life you've been asking for. The world around you starts responding not to your potential, but to your actual vibration. In matters of love, someone from your past may resurface. Before you rush in or shut it down, ask yourself, are we both vibrating at a new frequency now? Has growth taken place on both sides? Because the version of you that is rising now deserves love that reflects your evolution, not your history. In work, something you thought you missed out on might circle back. Don't dismiss it too quickly. You may be ready now in ways you weren't before. And with your health, even the smallest acts of care like warm lemon water in the morning or 5 quiet breaths before sleep can restore you more than you realize. Ultimately, your jackpot is the realization that you no longer have to hustle for what aligns with you. You just have to align with it. And when you do, the world doesn't just open up, it rearranges itself to meet you where you are. This is not wishful thinking. It's the natural outcome of making space, choosing differently, and being available for more. And you, Libra, are finally available for more. Not because you're trying harder, but because you've remembered who you are. When the energy around you begins to shift, when doors open, clarity arrives, and blessings begin to pour in, it's natural to want to pause and simply receive. And you should. You've earned that moment. But there's something extraordinary that happens when you realize that what you're receiving is not only for you, it's flowing through you. That's when your transformation becomes collective. That's when your personal alignment becomes generational elevation. As a Libra, you're not just here to balance your own life. You're here to bring harmony to the spaces around you. You may have noticed this your whole life, how people come to you when they're unsure, how you're the one holding peace during tension, how you often feel the need to keep the peace even when no one asks you to. But what if this innate gift of yours is now evolving into something more powerful? What if you're not just a peacemaker away shower? And this jackpot day you're living through is not only marking a personal milestone, but also positioning you as a vessel for greater change. Think about it this way. If you're the first in your family to break old money patterns, your financial healing becomes a ripple that extends into your lineage. When you shift your mindset from scarcity to sufficiency, you're not just improving your life, you're rewriting the energetic blueprint for those who come after you. This is how energetic inheritance works. What you embody, others around you begin to absorb. You don't have to preach it. You don't have to prove anything. Your transformation will quietly inspire others by example, simply because they'll feel the resonance of what you've stepped into. This is especially important now, in a world so often ruled by fear, comparison, and reactivity. Your ability to embody balance, grace, and intentional living is no longer a quiet virtue, it's becoming a needed leadership quality. But here's the key: leadership doesn't mean control. It means modeling. It means presence. It means choosing peace over panic, faith over fear, and curiosity over judgment. I've witnessed this in the lives of people who've made the courageous decision to shift from survival to soul-led living. One woman I worked with grew up in a household where money was always tight and love was always conditional. For years, she repeated the pattern, scrambling, proving, people-pleasing, until she decided to pause, reflect, and begin aligning her energy with abundance instead of lack. Within months, her external circumstances began to change: unexpected opportunities, healthier relationships, more ease. But what touched her most wasn't the money. It was the fact that her younger siblings started speaking differently. They stopped expecting chaos. They started dreaming bigger. That's what happens when someone becomes the first to say, "No more." The ripple begins. That's where you are now, Libra. You're not just stepping into blessingiery, becoming a blessing. Your presence is shifting atmospheres. Your actions are sowing seeds. Your decisions are breaking patterns, whether you see it yet or not. So today, as you receive what's unfolding, also ask, how can I use this joy, this breakthrough, this clarity, to lift others too? Not by sacrifice. Not by burnout. But simply by being fully, freely, and unapologetically you. You don't need to change the world in one day. But if you choose to share what you're receiving with a kind word, a healed boundary, a new perspective, you become part of something much larger. And that, Libra, is the true reward. Not just receiving the good, but realizing you've become the place where good things begin. If you've made it here, Libra, I want you to pause for a moment, not just to listen, but to breathe in what's now possible for you. You've walked with me through a journey of energetic reset, spiritual realignment, and soulful activation. And now, at the edge of this sacred 24-hour window, the only thing left is for you to choose. Will you allow what's meant for you to fully arrive? Sometimes we wait for a sign, a shift, or a miracle to come crashing in and save us from where we are. But what if I told you that the miracle isn't coming from outside? What if the miracle is you? Your willingness to believe in better. Your decision to release what no longer serves. Your choice to take even one small aligned action today. That's not waiting on magic, that is magic. There's something powerful about acknowledging that you are no longer stuck in the old story. The past doesn't need to be your blueprint anymore. And even if you've tried before and slipped back into doubt, that's okay. This time, you're arriving with more awareness, more grounding, more clarity about who you are and who you're not. So ask yourself gently, what will I no longer tolerate from my life? What would happen if I fully accepted the blessings trying to reach me? Who might I become if I stopped holding back, just a little bit less every day? These aren't just questions for reflection, they are invitations into transformation. Remember, nothing changes until you decide to change your relationship with what you already know. The truth is, the energy around you is ripe for real breakthroughs. But no one can walk through the door for you. That step is yours. And it doesn't have to be grand. It can start with one intentional breath. One honest affirmation. One clear boundary. One small shift in the way you show up for yourself today. I want to thank you truly for being here. Your time, your presence, your openness, it matters more than you know. Every like, every comment, every subscription on this channel, Zodiac Whisper Tarot, allows this space to remain sacred, supportive, and alive with real connection. You are part of that energy now. You belong here. If this message spoke to something inside of you, I encourage you to anchor that feeling. Comment below with 999 to affirm your readiness to release, renew, and receive. Not because you have to, but because your spirit wants to witness you say yes to yourself. And before you click away, let me ask you one last thing. What would it feel like to finally live as if nothing is missing? Because maybe, just maybe, everything you've been waiting for has been waiting on you. To see yourself clearly. To stop resisting. To receive it all. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. You only have to stop pushing it away. Jackpot isn't some future event, it's what unfolds when you're aligned, awake, and available for abundance. And right now, Libra, you are all three. So stay open. Stay present. And keep choosing what feels like truth. I'll be here with you, whispering wisdom, holding space, and cheering you on as you rise. Until next time, take care of your energy. And remember, you are the key you've been waiting for.